about D'Angelo Hall, just let him know that our thoughts are with him. He's obviously been a fantastic ambassador for Virginia Tech, let alone a great player and great personality. I had a chance to meet him early in the year. Such a nice man, and our hearts and thoughts go out with him as he is going to recover from an injury. I also do want to say something just about last week's game. Just really proud of the team effort. I thought it was indicative of what we're trying to preach. I think the crowd was fantastic. I think it was just a great example of Virginia Tech football, or what our vision for that, for what it is and what it can be in terms of the crowd playing a huge role. I love the fact that people show up for games here in order to be active participants in the game. I thought they were fantastic, and we made big plays across the board on defense, on special teams, on offense, and it was a lot of fun to play in, and a lot of fun to watch the film. Obviously, we have a big challenge coming up. We have obviously a bye week this week, but we've got North Carolina at North Carolina. We're back in the ACC conference. It'll be a tremendous challenge. They've got very, very good players, good coaches. We're looking forward to getting back on the field this week. Tuesday and Wednesday will be what we term get better practices, which are kind of the last two practices we can have like that in the season until the season's over. Really focused on development, young player reps, scheme, look at a couple things scheme-wise, but really have some good-on-good work. And then after those two practices, we'll turn our attention to more of a game prep mindset, and then be ready to roll for game week. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of things we can get better at in all areas of the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can improve on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Raise your hands and get your microphone.
Do you give the team any extra time off this week? Obviously, no game on Saturday, but
yeah, we won't. Yeah, we didn't practice yesterday. We're not practicing today. We won't practice on Friday or Saturday. So, yes, the short answer is yes. But we're going to get quite a bit of good work in.
Coach, just talk about the timing of the bye week and how is it coming along with that?
Yeah, I like it. It's provides us a nice break right now to kind of take stock in where we're at, both schematically and personnel-wise. Gives our guys a chance to heal up kind of for the long haul. We've got a pretty significant stretch that we're staring at with 2 Thursday games and quite a few games on the road here coming up. So I think it falls at a good time for us to kind of take stock in where we're at and get a good evaluation of some things personnel-wise and scheme-wise.
Coach, the run by Gerard for the touchdown, at any point during that play were you yelling at him to get down, or did you just let him go? And what can you tell us about his ankle at this point?
His ankle's fine. I did not yell for him to get down. I yelled for him to protect the football. So I was good with him running it. I just didn't really like the way the ball was kind of flopping all over the place.
How comfortable are you with this team right now heading into the bye week? Guys, you're 3-1. Seem like you're really, really playing well these last few games. Do you feel good about where the team is right now?
Well, that's an interesting way to put it. I feel like we've played well the last couple of weeks. I don't believe that previous performance is an indication of future performance. I don't believe in momentum from week to week. I believe in 12 one-game seasons. But I also do believe that there is something else there that does carry over from week to week in terms of confidence and belief in what we're doing, understanding the process, those sorts of things. So I do think there's another level we can get to, but I do think that we have made some progress in those terms, and guys are feeling better about what we're asking them to do.
Gerard obviously is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country right now, and I asked him after the game on Saturday if there was anything during this week that he felt like he really needed to focus on in his game in particular. And he mentioned specifically, I need to work on throwing the freaking ball down the field. Have you noticed anything, any issues with him kind of trying to connect with guys down the field? Because he said he felt like he'd missed Isaiah a few times on
He did. He missed him twice last week.
Is that something that's going to be a focus for him this week, or
You
is that
bet.
a concern for you?
Well, that and a lot of other things. We got a lot of things to work at. I mean, we're going to put him in some situations that we've got to work on. That maybe they haven't come up yet. You know, third down situations, that sort of stuff that we'll put in this week to continue to try and improve his development. But you know, we have a pretty specific thing we ask him to do when throwing the ball down the field at quarterback in terms of giving our guys a chance to catch the ball. And we didn't do that on a couple of them, which was kind of disappointing.
Coach, coming into the season, wide receiver depth was a question that you guys were concerned about. How do you feel like that issue is kind of taking care of itself, and are you comfortable with where you are right now?
No. I mean, we're still working on it every single day. No, I'm not comfortable with it at all. The kids are working hard. I'm not displeased with them. I think they know it, and I think they're working to try and improve. They're just really, really young. You know, they're freshmen. But no, it's not a source of comfort.
Jason, in the back.
Hey, Coach, it wasn't that long ago. It seems like we were asking Greg Stroman about, he was running around and running backwards. And I know with special teams such an emphasis for you. Have you noticed anything different about his approach this year, or have you guys talked to him about doing anything different that is kind of the reason why
From
he's able
last
to,
year?
Well,
Or
just from when you started working with him that's helped him, bust off an 87-yard return.
No, not really. He's a trustable, dependable person. We've trusted him since we've been here. No, I haven't really seen anything different. If you look back at the return, I think that I'm not taking. Greg did a great job, but the other 10 people on the field did a heck of a job too. There was nobody within a long ways of him. He had plenty of room in there, which was great. It's why the whole unit should take pride in those things. But I haven't seen anything really different.
I know week to week the game plan is such a big part of preparation. Without that this week, do you kind of step back and self-scout, and can you take a broader look at yourselves during this week?
Absolutely. Both sides of the ball take a great kind of in-depth look statistically in terms of alignments and who's in the game and tendency-oriented, that sort of thing, to get a kind of handle on that. And then also we get a little leg up on game plan in terms of I know North Carolina still has a game on Saturday, and we'll add that to our breakdown, but we'll go ahead and move forward too in terms of breaking ourselves down and getting to North Carolina.
In the back, Travis.
Hey, Coach, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but for the next 5 on the road, can you just speak to maybe whether or not there's a different mentality or different approach away from home? Obviously, Carolina will be the first true road game, the Bristol game notwithstanding.
Yeah, the things that we'll talk about, and this will be our first true road game. The Bristol game was obviously a different situation, but it is a little bit different. It's you kind of, when you go on the road, you're a minimalist. You just bring what you need in order to get the job done. And in my opinion, at times in my career, I have seen that galvanize or focus the team. And, you get a chance to just bring the people that are going to participate in the game. Obviously, we have travel restrictions for the ACC and that sort of thing, but there's not a lot of extra when you go on the road and you're going into somebody else's place, and you also don't have ticket requests and a lot of other things to worry about that you can do at home. Now, I'm not suggesting that I would rather play on the road than play in Lane Stadium, but I'm just saying there's a kind of another dynamic there that I think can work to help focus the team.
Coach, last week you talked about the discomfort you had at center. Has that changed at all this week?
It's still a work in progress for us in terms of kind of ironing out the two deep there at center. So, that's part of this week's work, is continuing to evaluate and develop our thoughts and feelings about how we should be handling that situation.
You saw Ken was named Defensive Lineman of the Week for the ACC. I know you spoke highly of him in the offseason. What have you thought of his start to the season so far?
Ken's been fantastic. That's great for him. That's a well-deserved award. Ken is a very good leader, very competitive, a good worker, highly intelligent football player that deserves, that I'm glad to see get recognized for his hard work. But I've been really pleased with really our entire defensive front and how they've played and attacked the games. And Coach Wiles and the job he's done getting those guys rocking and rolling. They've done a good job, but Ken in particular.
Since it's an open week, maybe you'll indulge me with this off-the-wall question a little bit. I know you guys aren't on the field here for the anthem. Are you ever on the field? Do you recall ever being on the field anywhere else? Were you on the field in Bristol for the anthem? Or?
No, I remember the anthem in Bristol because they had it on the TV in the locker room. But I can't remember. I'm not saying I never have been. I just can't remember a scenario when our football team, whether I was at TCU or at Memphis or in my short time here, where we have been on the field for that. It may have happened at some time, but I cannot recall
Yeah,
one.
I didn't know if maybe for a bowl or anything. What would be your thoughts on a player who wanted to take
You had to go there, didn't you? You had to ask
It's an
me.
off week.
Yep. I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of different topics, first of all, is what I would tell you. And I'm not always going to share them with all of you all. And I hope you respect that, because there's a lot that comes with standing up and voicing your opinion. It doesn't mean I don't have them. I would hope that let me just backtrack. Whether it's the national anthem or some other cause, whatever it is, okay, I would hope that our kids would want to come to me and talk about those things and figure out a way to genuinely help whatever cause it is that they feel strongly about, and give us the opportunity to discuss how it is they can help that cause. And knowing that I'm going to support them in their stance and what they truly believe in, but also let's find a way to help that cause that maybe can help our football team or not cause huge distractions for our football team as well, is the way I would hope that got handled if it ever came up for us.
Anybody else? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank y'all.
Love Cam on next.
Cam, has Krispy Kreme reached out to you since Saturday?
I think they did like a post from someone. Hopefully I can get some donuts or something out of that.
Seriously, how do you guys as players approach a bye week? It sounds like Fuente doesn't really have this as an off week as much as a week to work and practice.
We're definitely going to use this week to rest up, get our bodies right, any bumps and bruises that we have, get those fixed, and kind of go back to fundamentals or developmental practices a little bit, just to utilize all the time that we get.
Do you personally have anything that you want to work on this week leading up to the North Carolina game?
Of course, getting healthy, staying healthy is very important when playing our game. And just, getting better every day, continuing to, understand the discipline that we should play with as far as ball security, becoming a leader to help the whole team, continue the discipline.
Coming into the season, wide receiver depth was kind of a question for this team, and the coaches were a little concerned about it. How do you think the young guys and even the top guys, such as yourself, have really progressed so far this season?
I think all the guys have played well. Those guys have done a great job in practice all the way back to spring ball and fall camp. And, when they get out on the field, they make their reps count. And, the coaches trust them, which is why they put them out there. And, if they have any questions, they come to me, Isaiah, or even Bucky. And, we are all a family, so we try to help each other.
And Coach Fuente had actually mentioned the fact that he thought a lot of the backup receivers were working hard, but he was not satisfied with their development so far. When you see it was an issue last year, obviously, you guys were never able to come off the field, it seems like. And then this year, he mentions, a third of the way through the season is still not where he wants it to be. Is there an area where you can put your finger on that? It's like you said, you feel like they're working hard and they're doing what they need to do, but is there something they're still a shortcoming with?
I guess that would just be Coach Fuente, setting his standards really high. He wants everything to look a certain way. But, of course, in drills and pass scale or blocking or, anything where, those guys get a chance to get some reps, they always ask questions, whether it's to the, older receivers or even Coach Wiggins. Those guys definitely want to contribute to the team, and, they're making an effort to do that.
Gerard in the postgame was kind of hard on himself about connecting on the deep passes. I know you had the one with him for 55 yards. How does he throw those at practice? Does he connect on more of those at practice, or is he just kind of being unduly harsh on himself in the game?
Definitely. You guys saw it. He can really sling the ball. I don't think there's any have ever been a perfect quarterback, that makes every single throw. Maybe just a higher percentage, but, I think you guys see it. He really wants to be great, and, he's his own harshest critic, and, that's good, not only in our quarterback, but, when you want to, really excel at something. So, he's hard on himself. He comes out, brings his hard hat to practice every day, and, he tries to complete every pass and make every read, put us in the right place, and, I think he's done a good job of that.
4 weeks into the season, how much more comfortable are you with this offense than you were maybe in fall or even spring?
I'm very comfortable. The coaches do a great job of really breaking down the plays and what we're trying to accomplish from week to week. And, they do a great job game planning, scouting the other teams, letting us know, strengths and weaknesses of what we really need to focus on.
Do we have any other questions for Cam? Okay, thank you very much.
Well, last year we had a lot of young players, and we progressed through camp and everything. And then we had a lot more people playing this year. Like, we're rotating a lot of people. Our D-line, we got a lot of rotation. We had a lot of young players last year. So the rotation's doing well, and I think the D-line is helping us, like, get to the quarterback. They're controlling the line of scrimmage a little bit. And in the back end, we improved in our one-on-one defense coverage. So I think that's helping out a lot.
Good, back to the room, Jason.
Anthony, we've hear Coach Fuente talk about how big special teams are to him, but when you guys are practicing or just from week to week, how big of an emphasis does he put on special teams?
He puts a huge emphasis on it. Coach Shebis, he's been doing a real good job too. We practice it about for like 30 minutes during each practice. So and then before practice, there's like a big emphasis on special teams, and we work on like blocking kicks and everything, and it's huge. It's huge.
Even as much success as you guys had Saturday, is that kind of a result just of how much time you all have spent on it?
Yeah, I think so, because during the week we'll go over like how the other team blocks, and we'll like consistently go over it over and over again. So I think it helps a lot.
Going on special teams, how big of a deal is that number 25 unveiling on Thursday? It sounds like a team takes it very seriously, and the coaches do too.
Yeah, he usually announces it in the team meeting in front of everybody. So whoever gets it, like, they usually have a huge smile on the face. Like, everybody wants it, because Beamer ball is like a huge part of Virginia Tech, and everybody wants to get it. And I hope I do one day too.
Back in the room tonight.
Just talk a little bit about the timing of the bye week, just your feelings on just the timing of it right now.
I think it's coming at a good time. We've had quality opponents these first 4 weeks. We worked hard throughout camp, and then it's a long season, so I think it came at a good time. It wasn't too early, it's not too late, and hopefully we'll keep the ball going.
Any other questions for Anthony? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Raise your hands and reach the microphone, and we'll get started with you. Start with Rick.
Just kind of a general question. How do you think the defense has kind of progressed from week 1 to week 4?
I think we've matured a little bit. Just thinking about how we played against Liberty and Tennessee. I think we played good, but we've just gotten that much better as the weeks have gone on. We've learned to execute a little better, and some of the young guys that we're playing have matured a little bit as well.
Woody Kane was named Defensive Lineman of the Week for the ACC. What have you seen out of him early this season? Is he kind of kicked into a different gear to start this year?
Yeah. Kenny Canham is a guy that, is not afraid to embrace the lunch pail mentality. And the way he plays is the way that he practices every day, just at 100 miles per hour, no matter what he's doing. And it's just great to see the numbers show that come Saturday.
Coach mentioned that Tuesday through Wednesday of this week are going to be get better days for you guys. Would you rather jump into North Carolina game prep right now, or are you guys embracing the get better mentality this week with the bye week coming up?
I think we definitely embrace the get better, because no matter who we play, it's about us and how well we can execute our defense. So when we have a week to do that before we install the preparation, it's just going to make the execution of that preparation that much better.
Other questions? Raise your hands. Move to the microphone. Thank you, Woody. to the microphone, we'll get started in a bit.
As a group at wide receiver, what are some things that you guys are going to be trying to accomplish over the course of the bye week?
Just getting better and remaining consistent. This past game, I thought we did a good job, attacking the air and, really reacting to, whatever type of coverage they gave us. So we're just going to try to remain consistent and get better as the week progresses.
Coach said earlier today that he's not comfortable with the depth at wide receiver right now, but he's not displeased with you guys. What do you think is really you guys are lacking so far? And what do you really think that point is that he's still worried about?
After practice, Coach he hits on really being consistent, and so as his bye week goes on, we just want to try to remain consistent throughout practice.
What have these last couple years been like for you, waiting to get on the field and then to finally do it the other day and catch some passes?
Being on the field the other day, it was a really good experience. These past couple years, it's just a lot of being anxious, and just getting excited. So getting on the field was a really good experience, and I loved it.
We'll go to the back of the room to Jason.
Jalen, just kind of overall with the offense, especially with the way you all have been moving the ball, what's the confidence level do you feel like as a group?
As a group, putting up, points, the way we did the past 2 weeks, it's really, a confidence booster. But at the same time, we can't get too high. But at the same time, we can't be too low because we still have a long season ahead of us.
And at the same time, do you guys worry at all about with the bye week, just kind of where it falls, messing up that confidence or momentum or anything you guys have built?
No, I don't think we're worried about lowering confidence. We're a strong team, and and we're strong-headed, and we have a lot of great leaders. So this is just a week to get better.
Gerard was particularly critical of his deep balls, I guess, after Saturday's game. Said he wanted to work on throwing the ball deep this week in practice. From what you've seen, is that one of the weaker part of his games at all, or is it something that you feel like it just takes a little bit longer time to get timing down, or what's the deal?
Well, I mean, as y'all seen, like he has a strong arm. He really does, and I don't think. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I mean, to me, he's a great quarterback for us, and he's just all around great guy. So,
Other questions for Jalen? Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.